New details on the multi-million-dollar gambling ring run out of New Jersey, where prosecutors say Joseph Perna worked as the alleged ringleader and reportedly recruited his son and his son's friends to partake in the scheme. ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Prosecutors say the illegal gambling raked in $2 million. The defendants are charged with racketeering and other offenses. Several of the defendants deny wrongdoing, and a lawyer for Perna's son says his client looks forward to confronting false allegations in court.
The EPA continues to monitor air quality in Weatherford, Oklahoma, after a toxic ammonia cloud sent dozens to the hospital.
A tanker truck parked outside a hotel was filled with 25,000 pounds of anhydrous ammonia until a leaky gasket or faulty valve created a massive white cloud of noxious fumes that burned the eyes and lungs of anyone in the area.
I never experienced nothing like that. I want to experience it again.
My lungs, eyes hurt, skin irritated.
Something you see in a movie, something that happens somewhere else.
Among the 70 injuries were 14 first responders who suffered chemical burns to their airways. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Preliminary findings show an oil spill along the Keystone Pipeline earlier this year may have been the result of a fatigue crack along the pipe's manufactured long seam weld. The early April spill resulted in an estimated 3,500 barrels of oil flowing into a field near Fort Ranson, North Dakota. The pipeline was shuttered for 6 days while more than 200 workers aided in the cleanup. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
5:05 now on this Friday afternoon, the weekend officially here, and I'm Will Feelright with your local headlines. Well, it happened again last night. A hoax bomb threat called into Utah State University prompted a 30-minute sweep of 3 campus buildings before police determined that the call was a false alarm. Now, the threat was received around 5:30 via an internet VoIP system, according to USU Associate Vice President Amanda Dorito. Now, buildings were quickly cleared and normal activities resumed. The incident followed a similar hoax known as a swatting call that had happened at the University of Utah Wednesday night, where students had to shelter in place following a false report of a stabbing. Now, USU and U of U police say they are collaborating with federal partners to investigate the threats, which are becoming increasingly common nationwide. Officials are stressing, though, the importance of treating all threats seriously while ensuring student safety. And in other news, Utah Attorney General Derek Brown and North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson have announced the launch of a groundbreaking bipartisan artificial intelligence task force that's focused on developing basic safeguards to protect the public. Now, the initiative involves collaboration with leading AI developers, including Microsoft and OpenAI. Now, Jackson noted that AI is moving fast, and so are the risks. Now, the task force aims to establish a standing forum to track AI developments, identify emerging issues for law enforcement, and also create basic safeguards, particularly for children. Now, OpenAI Chief Strategy Officer Jason Kwan and Microsoft General Manager Kia Floyd are a part of the force, with Floyd noting that the collaboration will promote innovation and consumer protection to ensure that AI serves the public good. And the Ogden Police Department has launched a new free anonymous Narcan vending machine in an effort to try to combat opioid overdoses in the region. Now, the machine is located in the lobby of the Frankham Public Safety Building that's along Lincoln Avenue. Now, Narcan, or naloxone as it's more familiarly known, is a safe and easy-to-use nasal spray that can rapidly reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. Now, according to the department, each kit includes the nasal spray, step-by-step instructions on how to use it, and then also local resource information. Now, to access the life-saving medication, users must simply enter the code 1234 into the machine. Now, no identification, money, or prescription is required. Authorities are asking a few anonymous questions, though, to be able to track the restocking needs, and the new machines are one of several Narcan vending machines that are now available in Weber County. Wonder if they'll continue to move north, possibly here into Cache County. Well, we've had cloudy skies today, but still it's been pretty warm. Low 60s for our high today. Now tonight we'll drop into the mid-30s and then be back into the mid-60s tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds for the first half of the weekend. Showers and thunderstorms expected for the second half of the weekend, and that's going to bring some colder temperatures for the first of next week, as we'll see highs in the high 40s to low 50s. And weather this hour is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. As we get towards those colder temperatures that are headed our way, it's probably a good time to start thinking about your car's battery to make sure that it can keep your vehicle running. Napa Auto Parts has batteries plus also wiper blades, and they have a great deal right now on 50-pound bags of Blue Heat Ice Melt, just $10. And I'm Will Feelwright with your local headlines.
For some, this is the most wonderful time of the year. Yippee! For me, it's the worst time of the year because it's time to hang my Christmas lights. Come on! Last year, I fell off my ladder into the rose bush. The year before, my lights didn't work at all. Not this year. I'm using Logan Extermination. They can install my own Christmas lights, or they can install their LED or incandescent lights. Enjoy the holidays and preserve your sanity by calling Logan Extermination. 752-8450.
Breaking news and stimulating talk. KVNU 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
I'm Larry Gelwicks, the getaway guru for Morris Columbus Travel and Regent Cruises. Dreaming of a luxury escape? Regent Cruises offers all-inclusive voyages around the world. Indulge in the ultimate cruise experience with gourmet dining, spacious suites, and exclusive shore excursions. Call Morris Columbus Travel today.
Come on and get away, Morris Columbus.
Everyone has an estate, but do you have an estate plan? This is Jace Allen, Northern Utah's estate planning attorney. At Allen Law Office, wills and trusts are what we do. If you've been putting it off, now is the time to get it done. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones, protect your legacy, protect your assets. Start today at cashlegal.com or just search Allen Law Office. Wills and trusts are what we do. Allen Law Office.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Hour 2 of today's show, Friday, November 14th. I'm Jason Williams, 59 degrees here at 5:10 in the afternoon. Already dark outside. Gonna keep happening until December 22nd. The days start getting longer. I'm already looking forward to that. It is a pleasure to have you with us here today because there is a lot going on in the movie world coming up. We'll talk a little bit about what's hitting theaters over the holiday months. In theaters new here in Logan this week, you can see The Running Man. This is based on a Stephen King story and is a remake of one that was done in the, I don't know, it was late 80s, early 90s. Actually starred original Family Feud host Richard Dawson. This one, as I understand it, they've kind of gone more action movie with this one, which is a little more true to the Stephen King novella. So that is in theaters here in Logan. It is rated R. And you can also see the third installment in the Now You See Me franchise, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Woody Harrelson, all the regular players from the Now You See Me movies. And also Predator Badlands has hit theaters as well. You can also get your tickets now for Wicked for Good, which is, according to the box office trackers, that is selling more than any other film actually in theaters, even though it is not in theaters. So I don't know if that says something very positive about the second half of the Wicked story, or something very negative about the movies that are in theaters now. But either way, not a huge opening weekend. We do have plenty to talk about, though. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein hit Netflix, and everyone's talking about it. I highly recommend it. That's a little bit behind the Halloween season, of course. And then, of course, we have time to get to our best of. Actually, you know what? We'll hold this till next week. Our best of Thanksgiving movies, and why top of the list, no argument even needed, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but there are others. So some hints about that as well. So Andy and I will be talking holiday movie season and more as we move out of fall season into the holiday movie season later on in the hour. Right now, though, we had a chance. So right now at the Utah Theater, a TC Christensen Film Festival is taking place. TC Christensen, for those who don't know, is famous here in Utah for making movies that are historical of nature. They tell a true story, oftentimes a lesser-known bit of history from World War II and other moments in history. But he tells these stories with an LDS angle, and it's made him very popular, understandably, here in Utah. And Gary Griffin, who manages of the Utah Festival Opera, manages the Utah Theater as well. He decided that November would be TC Christensen Film Festival month, and they're playing all of his films and shorts that most people didn't know even made, running before each film as well. That's every night throughout the month of November, and we had a chance to sit down and talk with Gary and TC Christensen himself about why they decided to do this.
I had shown a T.C. Christensen film a few years ago, the Colville Miracle. And after I went to see Escape from Germany, which was made just last year, I was so taken with that. I wanted to show it at the Utah Theater. And TC's people contacted me and wanted to know if they could show Raising the Bar, because it hadn't been shown very much here in Logan.
Sure.
And I thought, well, yeah, if we're going to show Showing the Bar, why don't we show all of TC's movies? And I started talking with him, and he thought it was a good idea. So here we are. We're going to show a lot of his short movies and all of his major motion pictures that he's made.
And that is exactly what's playing out. We'll talk more about the full schedule, but you can see this right now on the Utah Theater website. I've linked to this on our Facebook page as well. It's just utahtheater.org. This is literally a month of TC Christensen films. And as I mentioned, the filmmaker is with us himself. TC, thank you for taking some time for KVNU today. And if you can, talk about what this feels like for you to have your films all on display for an entire month here in Cache Valley. Has anything like this happened before? Has there been a TC Christensen Film Festival before?
Hey, I got to tell you, Jason, I love Cache Valley. I love Logan. And this is the first time anybody has done such a thing. So I love Cache Valley even more. For Gary to come up with this, it just touched me that, wow, hey, somebody would take a whole month and show my films for the whole time. I love it. So, no, this is the first time, and I'm going to get up there as many times as I can and say hi to the folks and thank them for coming and seeing my shows.
I have to ask, TC, so you've seen audience reactions to all these films before, I'm sure, but does that ever get old? Do you ever tire of maybe sitting in the audience with a cap on so no one recognizes you and seeing how people react?
Oh, I actually, Jason, if I'm ever in any kind of screening of my films, guess what? I've seen the film 100 and 200 times. I'm not interested in that. What I do is I always get a seat near the front and turn and watch the audience, because that's what I'm interested in, is seeing what works, where people are feeling engaged and touched or laughing or not or whatever. And no, it doesn't get old. Maybe in some parts of my films that I don't think I did a very good job on, then I'm not that zippity about it. But most of the time, I really like being there and seeing audience reaction.
We're all our own worst critics, right? This is... but your films have been, understatement of the year here. They've been popular here in Utah. And what is fascinating, I think, for a lot of people I've talked to who are fans and have tried to see them all, or you find, so for those who aren't familiar, TC Christensen is known for writing and directing historical films, particularly historical films related to the history of Utah and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And some of the films whose names you've heard before, I'm sure, Raising the Bars has been mentioned here, the Alma Richards story, Escape from Germany, just recently in theaters, and the well-known titles of The Cokeville Miracle, Ephraim's Rescue, 17 Miracles, just to name a few. How do you decide? I mean, you found some bits of history that are lesser known and not often talked about, and people find this fascinating. So how do you come up with your story ideas? Where do you decide to point your camera and your pen?
Well, the first thing I have to confess to is I actually never set out to just say, I'm going to try to do kind of background and history of like LDS kind of stories. What I set out to do is I want to find the best stories that I can find. The story is the thing. That's what matters with a movie. And we have in our history and culture so many great stories. Many of them have tended to be that type of a film. I do a lot of research. I'm always reading and talking to folks and just trying to see if I can find another story that kind of rings my bell and makes me want to get on it. And I don't think that's ever going to end. I hope not, because I know that there's a ton of great, true stories out there. That's the other thing I do is, I'm mostly interested in telling true stories.
Sure. And these are, compelling stories. Escape from Germany, one of your more recent films, I think is a great example. This is a story that I remember it first coming up in a high school history class. I think it was the first time I heard about this. But this is the story of Nazi Germany and an escape from Nazi Germany. How did you research this? Because again, this is a piece of World War II history, that era, that hasn't gotten as much attention. It hasn't had 4 million books written about it. So where do you go about doing your research?
Well, for that particular story, someone sent me a book. Actually, several people did, and that'll happen quite often. If it's pretty good, I start getting several people looking out for me, and they sent me a book called Mine Angels Roundabout by Terry Montague. And I read it, and I thought, hey, this is very good, but I can't do this. I don't have enough money to do 1939 Germany.
Sure.
And all that entails, a period film and trains and
costuming alone is a price tag, right?
Yes. And but it fit all of the things that I look for in a story, which is there a protagonist that has a goal, and they're really trying hard to accomplish this goal, and there's some type of antagonism going on against that person, and is the goal worthy? Is it, I don't want it to be that he's somebody who's trying to eat the most potato chips of everybody in the world. That's not going to get me going. It has to be a worthy goal. And this idea of one elder trying to get out 79 missionaries all by himself against Nazis and German shepherds and all of that turned my crank. And I eventually figured out some ways that I thought we could do it for a cheap enough budget that it made sense. And then we just took off and went after it. This is, again, a conversation with filmmaker TC Christensen. Ahead of, as we're underway, actually, in TC Christensen Film Festival taking place throughout the month of November at the Utah Theater. You can see the schedule at theutahtheater.org. Everything from Only a Stonecutter short film to the Cokeville Miracle, probably one of the most well-known, Ephraim's Rescue, 17 Miracles. Also, Gordon B. Hinckley, A Giant Among Men feature film, part of this as well, The Fighting Preacher. We could list them all, and this runs all the way through the month of November at the Utah Theater. And we'll continue our conversation. Again, here in the studio, we have
Gary Griffith of the Utah Theater and also Utah Festival Opera, I should mention that, and filmmaker TC Christensen. Stick around. More of For the People right after this.
Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
Allergy season is here. Are you still suffering, even indoors? Jonathan Duct Hunter says your home's air ducts could be the culprit. Pollen, dust, and other allergens build up in your ducts and get circulated every time your AC runs. Breathe easier with a professional air ducts cleaning from the Duct Hunter. Call us today at 435-770-4813 for a free quote. Cleaner air starts with the Duct Hunter.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. You always tell me it's worth the drive. What do you mean by that?
We charge so much less than payday or title lenders, and unlike banks, we actually lend money. Our locations are really nice, Craig. No bulletproof glass, plastic furniture joints. They're like the banks used to be. Clean, fun, great tunes on, and real live staff who love to help. And if you don't want to stop in, you can complete your whole application on your couch via your fancy smartphone. But we sure would like to meet you in person and tell you all about Dollar Loan Center and how we can help you get more money for less money.
DLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes, and you can get your cash in person at one of our 70 locations, on our website, don'tbebroke.com, or even over the phone with one of our helpful, real staff members. You're gonna love Dollar Loan Center.
License by the Utah Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval. Limitations may apply. See website for details.
Hi, this is Ashley.
And I'm Robbie with LSS Insurance.
Is it that time? Time to think about retirement, Social Security, and Medicare? We can help.
Join us for our free Medicare and Social Security seminar this Thursday at 7 p.m.
It happens every third Thursday at our office next to the North Walmart. Let us help you make an informed decision for your retirement, Medicare, and Social Security benefits.
Call 752-9493 to RSVP.
And remember,
It happens every third Thursday at LSS Insurance.
Hi, this is Chris Wilson of Wilson Motor Company. It's time for our Black Friday sales event. We have a great selection of over 150 new Fords and over 40 Nissans. All 25 models have closeout pricing. We have discounts up to $11,000 and rates as low as 0% for 72 months. Or we have over 140 pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Now is a great time to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle. Check out our inventory online at wilsonmotor.com. Hurry in, our Black Friday sales event ends December 1st.
I'm sorry I'm here for someone else, but it's good to see.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show. Coming up, we'll be talking fall movie season transitioning into holiday movie season and what you can expect. Also, what is new on the streaming services this weekend, especially in that holiday movie category. So that's coming up on the other side of the news. Right now, though, we had a chance recently to talk with Gary Griffin of the Utah Theater and filmmaker TC Christensen. A TC Christensen film festival of sorts is taking place at the Utah Theater throughout the month. In fact, TC himself will be at the film screening tomorrow night at the Utah Theater. And we spoke with Gary and TC about how this festival came together, but also how TC makes his films that have been astronomically popular here in Utah. Through the show chat here, it says, great to hear from TC, but can you take just a minute and ask Gary what the secret recipe is for their popcorn? Someone, Gary, is a huge fan of the theater popcorn at the Utah Theater.
That's good to hear. I wish I knew what the secret recipe was. I just, we put the popcorn in and it comes out.
That is, I love that. Someone's a big fan. TC, during the break there, Gary and I were talking that many people don't know that you also, in addition to all of these feature films that you're well known for, the Cokeville Miracle, the Raising the Bar, the Alma Richards story, etc. As I mentioned, Escape from Germany. You also make short films, and most of these screenings will be preceded, all of these screenings, it looks like, will be preceded by one of your short films. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you bet. I came out of college trying to figure out how to get into this crazy business, and one way that I tried was doing short films because they're more affordable. You're not risking as much. You're able to learn from those short films. And I made quite a few. I think we're showing about 7 or 8 of them this month. And some of them have had pretty good play, and people are aware of them. And there's others of them people at all have seen them. But they were a great training ground for me. And when Gary talked to me about doing this, I just thought, hey, this is like a retro, like a old film festival. They always would show short films, so let's show these. And we chose several of them, and I think they really add to the event.
This is great stuff. And Gary, you wanted to mention one specifically called The Pump.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. He made this little short film. Nobody says a word. It's just about this guy going out in the desert, and I won't ruin it, but it's a very interesting show. There's another one called The Bridge, which is very thought-provoking. They're wonderful productions. They're short, 15, 10 minutes, and I think people would enjoy them.
That is very cool. Again, the TC Christensen Film Festival is running now. Started on Saturday, November 1st, and runs up until the final TC Christensen film on November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving, Ephraim's Rescue, preceded by TC's short film, The Bridge. And TC, this, you have a lengthy career. You've made a name for yourself. People hear your name associated with a film, and they plan to see it, especially here in Utah. I don't want to ask you to spoil anything or give away any secrets that you have up your sleeve as far as what's coming next, but are you working on anything now?
Yes, we have a new film, thanks for asking, which will be in theaters, I hope in Gary's theater, starting on January 23rd. And it's a film that I'm doing kind of in conjunction with my son, who is the director of this film. I step back, and I'm the director of photography and a producer, but it's really his film, and it's called Stand Out. Look for it. He's done a great job. It's a very heartwarming, touching, and humorous film.
Very nice. Carrying on the family legacy there.
Yeah.
Many people will know the story, many will not, but how did you get into this, TC? Did you go to film school? Did you just pick up a book on screenwriting and get curious? Where were your roots?
Oh, my dad had a movie camera when I was growing up, which was unusual in the 50s. You didn't find that many families that did that. Well, he did, and I was fascinated by the camera and decided in the 8th grade, you know what? I told my folks, I'm going to try to do this movie thing. I had no idea what that meant and what it would take and so forth. But it's a great lesson. I think you decide what you're going to go after early in life, and things just kind of work out and things get out of the way. So I started making films. I went to BYU Film School. I also went to the University of Utah for a year, and then just started making films. And now here I am 100 years later looking back and going, wow, I had a career, and now I'm in the Utah Theater in Logan. Hey, tomorrow I can die.
That was, again, a conversation with TC Christensen. You can hear that whole interview via the For the People podcast and also on demand at kvnutalk.com in the on-demand section there. Again, the TC Christensen Film Festival is running now throughout the month of November at the Utah Theater. You can see the full schedule at utahtheater.org. And TC himself is actually going to be on hand for several of the screenings. If the screening has a red star next to it, the director and writer, TC Christensen, will be there for that screening and doing a bit of a Q&A after or before the film in the lobby. So an opportunity for fans and those who have never seen his films to get out and see them. And not joking, the popcorn at the Utah Theater, pretty good. So check it out. Again, that full interview available in the KVNU podcast. And we'll be back. Take a look ahead at the holiday movie season with Andy Morgan as the For the People movie show continues after this look at the news with KVNU's Will Feel Right.
Well, thank you, Jason. Democrat Ben McAdams has announced that he wants to seek to reclaim a seat in Congress. Now, he's running for Utah's 1st congressional district in the 2026 midterm elections. McAdams previously served one term representing the 4th district before narrowly losing his re-election bid in 2020 to Representative Burgess Owens. Now, his decision comes after a district court judge approved a new congressional map that creates a more competitive Democratic-leaning district that's centered on Salt Lake County. Now, Federal Election Commission filings show that McAdams actually submitted a statement of candidacy last month prior to the judge's ruling. Now, McAdams, a moderate and former member of the Blue Dog Coalition, stated that his decision was driven by his commitment to economic issues. Now, he will likely run against State Senator Kathleen Reeby, who announced her bid for the 1st District on Wednesday. In other news, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is facing a negligence lawsuit in Wyoming, alleging that the church failed to enforce proper safety measures that led to a 12-year-old boy having his foot severed during a church-sponsored water tubing activity in 2022. Now, the lawsuit, filed on behalf of the boy and his 14-year-old brother, claims that the church did not provide adequate training to youth leaders. Now, the accident occurred at Boyson Reservoir in Fremont County. Now, the complaint alleges that a young woman leader suddenly and forcefully accelerated a boat while the boy was feeding out a tow line, causing the rope to wrap around and sever his left foot below the ankle. Now, the boy has since undergone multiple surgeries, including 2 amputations. The lawsuit contends that the church knowingly allowed untrained individuals to oversee the safety of children, resulting in irreparable and life-altering harm. And the federal government's shutdown has ended, and that is prompting the Federal Aviation Administration to freeze nationwide flight capacity reductions at 6%, signaling an eventual path back to normal air travel. Now, the FAA had planned to increase flight cuts to 8% yesterday and then 10% today due to safety concerns over low staffing. But now that the funding measures have been signed, the FAA expects that flight schedules will return to normal through this weekend. Now, travelers experienced mixed impacts yesterday, the first full day of the shutdown ending. One passenger flying into Salt Lake City described the airport as being quiet, noting that many people had canceled their trips, while others reported smooth flights, and some said they still experienced delays that exceeded an hour. Well, we've had cloudy skies today, temperatures in the low 60s. Tonight will drop into the mid-30s, and then tomorrow, high temperatures expected to be right around 62 again, as we'll see a mix of sun and clouds. And then then Sunday and into Monday is when we see this next round of storms. They're going to bring showers, thunderstorms possible for the second half of the weekend, and colder temperatures, highs only around the high 40s to low 50s for the first of next week. And weather's brought to you by Roof Rescue. They're celebrating 10 years now of providing watertight peace of mind when it comes to minor repairs or complete roof replacement. Remember Roof Rescue online at roofrescueusa.com. And I'm Will Feelright with your KVNU News headlines.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. President Trump issuing a sweeping executive order, pulling back on some of his own tariffs on many foods, including coffee, tea, fruit, and beef.
For weeks, the president has insisted prices are coming down. That is not the case, and he is making major changes to his own policies to address rising costs.
ABC's Mary Bruce. Attorney General Pam Bondi says she's directed the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York to investigate Democrats allegedly tied to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Bondi responding to a directive by President Trump, which he announced today on social media. Authorities say legendary former football coach John Beam died this morning after he was shot on the Laney College campus in Oakland, California on Thursday. A 27-year-old suspect is in custody at this hour for that. You're listening to ABC News.
At Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, your hearing is our priority. For over 15 years, we've built trust by delivering expert care, personalized service, and real value you can count on. Our patients know they're more than just a number. They're family. We offer the latest in hearing aid technology, discreet, comfortable, and designed to fit your lifestyle. Experience the difference that true care and cutting-edge solutions can make. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, where trust, service, and better hearing come together.
Join us for the Cache Valley Interfaith Open House event. Connect with your neighbors and strengthen our community through respect and friendship by learning about the different faiths in Cache Valley. This family-friendly event runs from November 21st from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and November 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Find the full schedule with times, locations, and participating faiths at cvinterfaith.com. That's cvinterfaith.com.
Hi, it's Congressman Blake Moore. Have you heard the news? My office recently won an award for our Outstanding Constituent Service Program. That's right. The Congressional Management Foundation named Team Moore winners of their Best of Constituent Service Award, meaning Utahns in the 1st District are receiving some of the best help Congress has to offer. Representing Utah priorities in Congress and providing top-notch constituent service is at the heart of everything Team Moore does. We've had great success helping Utahns with expedited passports, visa processing, veterans benefits, immigration petitions, retirement issues, tax returns, and much, much more. We'd love for you to experience our award-winning service yourself. If you need help navigating a federal agency, including the IRS, Social Security, the VA, Immigration Services, or Medicare, please give my office a call at 801-625-0107. That's 801-625-0107. We're also happy to help coordinate U.S. Capitol tours, take your comments, and provide legislative updates anytime. It's our honor to serve you and your family. Thank you. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
I love living here, where we get to enjoy all 4 seasons. But I'll be honest, I don't love cold weather. We used to have drafty cold rooms in our home, no matter how high we cranked up the thermostat. So I called Cardinals Insulation. They inspected our home, found where the heat was escaping, and added insulation. It even lowered our energy bill. If your home has cold spots, drafty rooms, or your heater never seems to shut off, call Cardinals Insulation at 755-5012. That's 755-5012. Or look them up online. Cardinals Insulation in Logan.
Express your love for her this Christmas by presenting a piece of diamond jewelry from S.C. Needham Jewelers. Diamond jewelry makes a woman feel cherished. A pair of beautiful diamond earrings will add to the sparkle in her eyes. Adorned in diamond earrings, she'll feel elegant and appreciated. Choose from a large selection of quality diamond earrings, all specially priced for the holidays. With diamonds direct from Antwerp, Belgium, we offer our integrity price guarantee. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.C. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Hey Aggie fans! D&D Advertising has the new 2025-26 basketball schedules ready for pickup at these fine businesses. Gerber Landscapes, H&S Well Service, Hanson & Sons LLC, Peak Windows, Impact Insulation, The Jump Zone, Tree Barbers LLC, H.H. Mulberry Repair, Four Seasons Windows, Bear Well Drilling, Recovery Cafe, KBRO's Concrete and Floorwork, Mountain View Machine and Welding Incorporated, Adams Wealth Advisors, Sunshine Terrace Foundation Assisted Living, Apex Painting LLC, Protective Insurance Agency, Birch Creek Assisted Living, and Leisure Pool and Spa. D&D Advertising Enterprises is not licensed, affiliated with, or endorsed by any university, sports institution, or program unless specifically stated in writing. No proceeds from any of the funds collected for your ad will be given to any educational institution or sports team. We are not responsible for any schedule changes made after printing.
I have a couple things I want to tell you that is really cool. First off, I saw a trailer this week, and I'm going to put these up at Andy the Movies. There's I think so many website issues, but it's back up. If you've gone in the last week, you probably noticed that there's been some off and on issues.
Yeah,
of the site even just coming up. I migrated some technological gobbledygook that no one cares about, but the point is it's up and running.
Oh, you got it all fixed. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought you were announcing that they were ongoing.
I mean, there's a couple things that still need to be fixed, but no one will notice. But I am going to put up some trailers. I decided what I'm going to do rather than post just like individual ones from time to time is I'm just going to do kind of a roundup every week And so there's a couple trailers that came out this week that I am super, super, super excited about these movies. The first one, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, so I'll just briefly mention it, but there's a movie that hits Netflix in October. I think it'll come to theaters for a little while. That's Netflix's thing, right? Is they're like, in theaters for awards reasons, and then it'll be streaming. But this is
straight to...
Yeah, this is Catherine Bigelow's
Paramount Plus.
This is Catherine Bigelow's new movie. It's called House of Dynamite. Has an eclectic cast. Looks, I mean, just from the trailer and the cast list itself, it just looks fantastic. I mean, Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson. It's called House of Dynamite. And here's
I'm sorry. That was entirely my fault.
That actually worked perfectly.
It was entirely my fault.
But here's a cool thing. Is Catherine Bigelow's track record?
Effect, when you say a movie name from now on, I'm playing.
Just gonna play
I'm
that.
Playing the swoosh.
Catherine Bigelow's track record is almost impeccable. I mean, she hasn't made that many movies. And
remember when Black Hawk Down was controversial?
Well,
simpler times, man. Simpler times.
So Catherine Bigelow used to be married to James Cameron. I don't know why I just threw that in for the heck of it. But her movies, if you go, I mean,
used to be implied she has good taste. That's why you threw it out there. See, he seems like a jerk.
Well, a lot of people don't know her early work,
director,
but she really landed on the map with The Hurt Locker in 2008, and that's really close to the end of the Iraq War.
Yeah,
very good. I mean, that was Jeremy Renner's.
Still one of my favorite movies.
It's great. And then Zero Dark 30, which is
that's the one. Not I said Black Hawk Down. Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30 is.
Remember when our politics were so calm and adult that was considered controversial,
right? And
because she bluntly told some mild truths everyone knew, and no one really freaked out or tried to get her career ended.
No, there was
they just didn't like it.
And that movie is like
it's a good movie,
like just twisting. From start to finish. That was one of Jessica. I mean, that's Jessica Chastain peak. Jessica Chastain. She's good in everything.
And also, if you want to go back and if you live through these times and you want to go back and kind of mildly relive what all that was like and how much was going on at the time.
100%.
It's a good movie for that.
Yeah.
Zero Dark 30.
Well, and so
although The Hurt Locker, I think, is a better movie. Her first. I love that movie.
I would put them up. Zero Dark 30 in my mind is a little bit more consumable for.
That's true.
The Hurt Locker is a great movie. It's very tough to watch from a. It really hits on that. The thing that hits.
I'm a big fan of like the Platoon, Full Metal Jacket.
No, 100%
style war movie.
100%.
If you're going to make a war movie,
it
has to be Saving Private Ryan or Full Metal Jacket or have. They can't
100%.
They can't all be MASH.
No, I completely agree.
The Hurt Locker falls into that category. I think it was a very realistic and honestly horrifying.
It is.
Depiction of the Iraq War.
One of the things that I think really lands home for that too is having a sister that served in Iraq for almost 18 months. She would drive the fuel trucks to and from through the Sunni Triangle. Yeah, and
wow,
and there's a character in this
movie.
That
was a very dangerous job for a long time.
It was, and there was a character in this movie, and it's this kind of idea of like waking up every day and wondering, will this be the day that I die? And the pressure that comes from that sort of looming over you is that you're in a place, you're in a situation where the potential to have your life ended on a daily basis is monumental.
And you're being reminded of that by hearing constantly about other people doing the same job you're doing. Having their lives ended.
Yep. So I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, it's a movie that really drives that home.
One that really flew under the radar that also is really great is her 2017 movie called Detroit.
I never saw that. Actually, I'm going to make a note right now.
This is based on the 1967 like 12th Street riots in Detroit. My family, my dad and mom, they all come from Michigan, and my dad grew up in Detroit. I mean, this is something that they kind of lived through and then we heard about. So that one hits home. But
people might be surprised too. Some of the other movies that she's done. Before The Hurt Locker, she was the director behind that Harrison Ford K-19, The Widowmaker.
Really?
Yeah, she did that.
Wow.
She also did The Weight of Water.
Wonder why she doesn't talk about that.
With, the only thing...
I like The Weight of Water.
Yeah, she did...
I won't make fun of that one.
She had another one called Undertow. I had never... Oh, no, she wrote that one. She directed one of her first ones that she landed with was Strange Days. Do you remember that from 1995?
Oh, wow. Really? That was her?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Ooh.
When everybody wanted... And
everyone was trying to be Oliver Stone.
Well, and
remember that?
No, and what was actually funny about that is that's when she was married to James Cameron, and he wrote the screenplay for it.
Oh. I wonder if that's when she started to see the cracks in her marriage.
Her other one was Point Break. That was another one that people don't realize that she did Point Break.
The original?
Yes,
remake.
1991. Okay. Yeah, she also did Blue Steel. Do you remember that with John with Jamie Lee Curtis?
I do remember Blue Steel.
And then another one that nobody talks about.
Blue Steel in theaters willingly.
That is so good. Have you ever seen 1987 scary movie called Near Dark?
Yeah, the vampire movie.
Yeah,
this is back when James Woods was cool and not just an angry loon on the internet.
It's so good,
really, really good. Doesn't that has Bill
Paxton?
Bill Paxton.
Yeah, very good. You good memory.
Yeah,
but no, she's great. So House of Dynamite is centered around nuclear war. And it, again, just looks really almost... it's hard sometimes to predict from a trailer. I have a lot of my critic brethren and sistren, is that a word?
Sure.
My critic friends in the Utah Film Critics Association, a lot of them don't watch trailers. They don't want to be teased.
Yeah.
I like being teased. Trailers I like to be excited. I like to look forward to things. I've always loved trailers. Ever since I was a kid, I love movie trailers. And sometimes they're accurate. Sometimes you see it and you go, that's going to be good. And it is good. Sometimes you see it like Vanilla Sky.
Yeah.
And you go, wow, that's a great trailer. I bet that wins the Academy Award for Best Picture this year. And then you go,
you see it.
This belongs in the trash.
Or sometimes you see a trailer for the coolest looking sci-fi movie you have seen in years, and it has this iconic scene where an alien's being interrogated, and you think, I got to see that. That looks so amazing.
Is this District 9? Are you going with District 9?
And then you see the movie, and that's not even in the dang... I'm still mad.
That's funny.
Anytime I think of a trailer, that pops into my head first. Speaking of what you're talking about there, though, with trailers and why, because I love them too. Have you seen the trailer for the new upcoming A24 film with The Rock? Where they gave him a fro.
The Smashing Machine?
Yeah, he's got a fro, and it's
he's got a little bit of prosthetics going on there.
Yeah,
with Emily Blunt. It's Benny Safdie from the Safdie brothers.
On the surface, just it being The Rock and the overall theme, and I thought, no, come on, stop it, make something better, because he's actually a good actor.
Yeah.
Then I watched the trailer and I saw who directed. I'm pretty excited about this.
Same, and
I'm not a fan of this quote unquote sport.
Well, and this is one of those things where this is a tough one for me because the movie straight up looks quality across the board. That's Well, let me actually scale that back a little bit. The movie, from who is in it and who wrote it and who's directing it, by all means should be quality.
Really good.
Yeah. But this is one of those things also where it's just like it's just dangling. I don't want to use Oscar bait in a negative way.
But it seems.
But it's just primed for Oscar season.
Yeah,
The Rock in one of his finest dramatic roles.
I think A24 tried the same thing in 2023, which is a really good movie. But in 2023, with what was the Zac Efron wrestling one?
Oh,
True Story.
Yeah, you're talking about
the Iron Claw.
Yeah,
I really like that movie. My only criticism of that movie is it was so depressing. Everybody, okay, it's not really a spoiler because not everybody dies. A lot of people do, and a lot of people have some other stuff happen to them, and And Ephraim plays this, the true life story of this wrestler, and he's trying to just save everybody in his family, his brothers, his parents. If it hadn't been a true story, I would have said, wow, a bit over the top on the script there. But all this really happened, and so that was a little much. But it's a great movie, by the way. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of dramatic sports movies because they don't, for me at least, they don't work. But occasionally one does, and The Iron Claw was one of those, and I'm hoping this one with The Rock will be another. All right, looking ahead at the end of the fall movie season and upcoming holiday movie season, which technically starts next weekend, with Andy Morgan here on the For the People Movie Show, which continues right after this.
Hi, this is Chad Norton at The Lawn Doctor. Just over a year ago, we lost a great man who happened to be my dad, who was an integral part of our business and worked for us for 8+ years. Stan had a passion for taking care of the hungry and those in need. So as we get ready for this holiday season, in his honor, we have started a campaign called Give a Can for Stan to benefit the local food pantry. Here are the ways you can donate. If you're a Lawn Doctor customer, we'll pick it up on your final service. Or if you see a Lawn Doctor van, please feel free to hand it to the technician. You can also drop it off at our offices here in Logan, or go to the website giveacanforstan.org. Thanks for participating in Give a Can for Stan.
This is Jordan with Primrose Home Care and Hospice. As I visit with people on a regular basis, I see many things we can help with. Recent falls, balance training, knee, shoulder, and hip surgeries, memory loss, housekeeping, help with medications, and that's not all. We at Primrose offer the best care in any situation. A great example of this is our preventative care program. While working with your doctor and using our personal approach, we can help prevent many of these situations. For more explanation, visit primrosecare.com or call me at 787-1369. Primrose Home Care and Hospice. We're your home team.
Do you suffer from consistent symptoms like these, and no matter how many doctors you see, things don't improve?
I definitely had fatigue and unexplained weight gain, brain fog, my joints hurt, and I just didn't feel like me. The last couple of years, I just had doctors telling me, oh, you're over 40, we can put you on prescriptions, and I just knew that wasn't what I wanted.
In a conventional model, it's typically one size fits all. Everyone's herded around like sheep and treated the exact same way. When they come to Red River, it's important to customize the treatment plan for that specific patient.
Talking with Dr. Swindlehurst, I just immediately felt like he was listening. He had a plan for me individually as a human being. If you're feeling the way that I was feeling, there's no reason that you can't go in for a consultation and do your blood work and see what they say.
If you're battling autoimmune symptoms, we have personalized options just for you.
Call Red River Health and Wellness at 855-55-RIVER.
Call Red River today.
Welcome back to the For the People Movie Show. Just a few minutes left here. And Andy, there was one more as we wrap up fall movie season and next week get into holiday movie season officially. There was one more you wanted to tell everyone not to miss.
That I wanted to tell people about. It's called Eleanor the Great. It stars June Squibb.
I've never heard of this.
Somebody's like, who's June Squibb? She's 95. So if you don't know her, you haven't been paying attention. She's in a lot of great movies. She's a great, I was going to say old actress, but that doesn't sound right. Anyway, this is not this is not playing up here in Cache Valley or even in like Ogden or Layton. If you wanted to see Eleanor the Great, you're either going to have to wait for it to come on streaming or, and a lot of times these come on like Amazon. You have to pay for them, if you have like Amazon Prime.
They're not like being
but this actually is in theaters in Salt Lake City. If you went to the AMC in West Jordan,
did you
AMC West Jordan 12? It's playing there. This is this has Chiwetel Ejiofor again, June Squibb.
This looks good.
It's really good. And here's the crazy thing: it's directed by Scarlett Johansson, and it's just it's such a great. It's a nice, I don't know, there's two things that really hit me with this movie. One was, getting older, right? And, your brain's still working, your mind's still working, but like as
Allegedly.
people get older, like society typically deems that they just don't have as much value or place in society anymore.
They start treating them like children, kind of.
And this is a lady who's lost her husband. She's living down in Florida, and she's been living with her best friend. That they've been childhood friends for forever and ever. Spoiler alert: her friend passes away at the first of the movie, and she's just kind of alone. So she decides to move home to New York, live with her sister, or her daughter, and her grandson. And she gets there, and she just doesn't, she doesn't really feel like she has a lot to do and have a lot of value, and so she ends up supposed to go to this kind of like a singing club, and she ends up in the wrong room, and it's a Holocaust survivor club.
And she thinks it's
so she makes the choice.
Breaks into song.
Well, no. She makes the choice to basically take her friend that died, who was a Holocaust survivor, who had only ever shared that story with Eleanor, and she decides to sort of take this lady's memories and share them, and she starts getting friends and kind of making a splash a little bit with this story.
That actually sounds really cool. And a quick note before we're out of time here, it looks like this one is actually hitting Apple TV is where you'll be able to stream this. As Andy mentioned, playing in a few of the art house cinemas in Salt Lake, but it looks like Eleanor the Great hits Apple TV next Wednesday. So very cool. All right, that's our time for today. Thank you, Andy. Thanks to our listeners. Be back next Friday at 5 with another episode of the For the People Movie Show, and we'll officially get into holiday movie season with the best Thanksgiving films. That's next Friday at 5. Stick around. Dave Ramsey is next here on KVNU Logan.